Okay, so let's talk about family. And I don't mean the dictionary definition. We're going to dive into what might be one of the most powerful, most contested, and just most contradictory ideas in our entire lives. And we're doing this by looking at thousands of raw, deeply personal stories that people have shared online.
You've probably heard this famous quote from Tolstoy before, and it just sets the stage so perfectly. It really gets at the two completely divergent paths a family can take. It's like happiness is this universal, simple thing, but unhappiness? Oh, that's where it gets personal, complicated, and unique to every single family.
And that brings us to the big question we're exploring today. Is family a safe harbor, or is it a cage? We're about to look at the powerful, emotional arguments for both sides, all taken directly from people's real, lived experiences.
All right, so first up, let's talk about the myth, the ideal. You know, that picture-perfect idea of family that's so deeply baked into our culture. The idea of it as this unconditional sanctuary, a place of total safety. I mean, listen to this quote, "Family is a fortress, even kings cannot enter." That paints such a powerful picture, doesn't it? It's this idea of an impenetrable haven, a sacred private space where the rest of the world, with all its judgments and dangers, just can't get to you. And you see this idea pop up over and over again. Family as the ultimate safety net. The idea that when everything else in your life falls apart, you lose your job, your friends disappear, your family's what's supposed to be left standing. They're the last resort. So, what does this perfect, idealized family actually look like? Well, people describe it as a source of unconditional support, a place of peace. It's where you're loved for exactly who you are, not for what you achieve. It's mutual, it's selfless, it's the most important thing. And I love this one description. Someone said it feels like a warm slice of bread, the steam from a kettle, just pure, simple comfort. Okay, but now we have to flip the coin. Because for a really staggering number of people, the reality of family is the complete polar opposite of that ideal. For them, it's not a comfort. It is the source of their deepest pain. Just listen to how one person puts it. The most violent terrorism we are exposed to, a lifelong suicide. I mean, wow. That's not just unhappiness or disappointment. That is a feeling of active destruction coming from the very people who were supposed to love and protect you. And the words people use get even more visceral. Family is described as a tumor, a life-eating hell, a prison. These are just heartbreaking cries of pain from people who feel completely and utterly trapped, suffocated, and consumed by their family. And the complaints get incredibly specific. It's not just vague arguments, it's constant conflict and judgment. It's having your individuality completely stifled. It's being manipulated through money. One person called it keeping the leashes in their hands. And for some, and this is really powerful, family is the very first place they learn what injustice feels like. And this quote, it just boils the whole struggle down into one sentence. Your family gives you life, but then they want you to live their life. That is the core conflict, right there. That fight for your own independence against this crushing weight of expectation. So, we've seen the two extremes, the absolute ideal and the painful, brutal reality. And that kind of leads us to a much bigger question. Given these wild contradictions, what is a family really? Let's just ask it again, but this time, let's actually search for a definition. With all these wildly different experiences, is there even a single answer to what a family truly is?
Well, the legal definition is pretty straightforward. Your family if you're connected by marriage, blood, adoption, or guardianship. It's clean, it's simple, and it feels like it completely misses the point, right? It fails to capture any of the emotional reality we've just been talking about.
Which leads many people to this really powerful alternative idea, the chosen family. The argument here is that true family isn't about the accident of birth. It has nothing to do with biology. It's about the people you find, the ones you choose to build a life with. Your friends, your partner, they become your real support system. And, you know, at the very heart of this whole debate, there seems to be this fundamental human tension. It's this simultaneous, desperate need we all have for both complete personal freedom and for unconditional belonging. This quote just captures that impossible trade-off so painfully well. People flee their family in the name of freedom, only to weep from loneliness when they realize that flag can't wipe their tears.
That search for independence, for freedom from family drama, can leave you feeling completely and utterly alone, without the security that even a really flawed family might have provided.
But it's not all heavy philosophy. Right in the middle of this deep, profound debate, there's this darkly humorous and very relatable observation about the inescapable reality of family life.
And the observation is this. Every family has its crazy one. You know who I'm talking about. The money-obsessed one, the one obsessed with how things look on social media. That person you are obligated to accept because you're related, but you would never, ever choose to be around. It's that frustrating but kind of funny part of family that we all just have to navigate.
So, where does all this leave us? It feels like we're looking at an unsolvable equation, a paradox that has no clear answer. But what if the struggle itself is the entire point?
Check out this insight, because it sort of reframes the entire debate. Someone wrote that family is the first place you have a dress rehearsal for the disappointments of life. The idea isn't that the struggles are a failure, it's that they are essential training. If you can figure out how to deal with your family, you can figure out how to deal with life.
And this brings us right back around, full circle, to the ideal we started with. There's this one phrase that just perfectly sums up what so many people are hoping for: a haven in a heartless world. That private, safe refuge from the toughness and the indifference of public life.
But in the end, there is no single easy answer. What all these stories do is hold up a giant mirror to our deepest, most human contradictions. The value isn't in finding one definition of family, it's in seeing the full, messy, complicated, beautiful, and painful spectrum of what it can be.
So, we're left with this ultimate question. And it's not for me to answer, it's for you to think about, based on your own life, your own experiences. Is family a sanctuary that you have to consciously build and protect? Or is it a ruin that you have to find the courage to escape from?